I'm Francesca Maxime, and this is Currents. People at one local parish have a place to pray outside.
This shrine garden will remind us of the close ties of Mary to Christ and His Church.
Plus, a Currents exclusive, he's been tapped by the Vatican to help U.S. Anglicans convert. Archbishop Donald Wuerl talks with us. And some young blood lend a helping hand at a senior center.
I'm hoping they play lacrosse better than they paint, or I'm certainly not going to be the lacrosse coach for very long.
Well, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Matt McClure has the night off. Pope Benedict will walk part of the Way of St. James to the tomb of the Apostle James when he visits Spain in November. Ahead of that trip, the Pope says pilgrimages to shrines have a great ability to summon and bring together a growing number of pilgrims and religious tourists. But you don't have to travel all the way to Spain to make a pilgrimage. Right here in Brooklyn, Bishop DiMarzio blessed a new outdoor shrine just this weekend, and our cameras were there.
Our Lady of Guadalupe is an apparition of our Blessed Mother that took place over 600 years ago in Mexico. Now we have the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico, but this church was built here over 100 years ago, dedicated to Our Lady of Guadalupe, and still today people have great devotion to Our Lady. Not only Hispanic people, but people throughout the world have great devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe. And so we thought that it would be a great idea not only have a shrine inside the church, but one outside where people could have an opportunity to pray and to be quiet and to ask the Lord and our Blessed Mother for those things that are important for them.
My dear brothers and sisters, we have gathered here in joy for the solemn blessing of this shrine garden and these statues of the Blessed Virgin Mary, St. Joseph, St. Francis, St. Anthony. Under the title of Our Lady of Guadalupe, this shrine garden will remind us of the close ties of Mary to Christ and His Church. When we bless something, we dedicate it to God's service. Even though the images are sacred, they need God's blessing to make them objects of devotion, intercession, because they remind us. We don't worship them, but they remind us of the saints, and that's why when we pray, we have their image before, just like we have the pictures of our loved ones with us, we have the pictures of the saints.
We wanted to give people an opportunity to remember loved ones, and what better way than having a paving stone inscribed with the names of their loved ones. Sometimes elderly people can't get to the cemetery that often to visit their loved ones. And so this is a little opportunity for them to come and to see their loved one's name on that brick and to be in this place of consolation as well. So the people have been very generous in purchasing the bricks and remembering their loved ones.
I donated the Holy Family statue. I needed to do this for my husband. We were married 51 years when he passed.
To the garden, my family has given 3 stones to be part of Our Lady of Guadalupe family, and we dedicated them in honor of my mother and my father, who have passed on, and to all the other living members of my family.
I hope that people will come with the spirit of prayer, that they will use this place as a place of prayer, a place where they can rest and speak to God and in prayer. I think that's a wonderful thing to have, a place, kind of an oasis in the desert of life.
Tranquil and lovely. Well, stay tuned. There's much more Current Street ahead. When we return, we'll have the day's headlines, including the church in Cuba announces the names of more dissidents who will soon go free. Welcome back to Currents. I'm Francesca Maxime. Coming up later, we'll meet some young people finding out what a difference a day makes. But first, let's have a look at the day's headlines. The Catholic Church in Cuba has announced that 3 more political prisoners will be released from jail over the next few days. They're among 52 dissidents arrested back in 2003. 36 of them have already been let go. The soon-to-be freed prisoners have all agreed to go to Spain. Well, the ongoing saga over the Legionaries of Christ continues as the Pope appoints an investigator for the Legion's youth movement. We get details from Rome Reports.
The Archbishop of Valladolid, Spain, Ricardo Blasquez, will be the apostolic visitator appointed by the Pope to investigate the Regnum Christi, the lay movement founded by Marcial Maciel. Sources close to the Vatican have confirmed this, and within the next few hours will publish an official statement. Last year, Archbishop Blasquez was one of 4 visitators appointed by the Pope to investigate the Legion of Christ. To help bring order to the Legion of Christ, Archbishop Velasco de Paulis has named 4 assistants: Father Agostino Montan, Father Mario Marchesi Agostino, Gianfranco Ghirlanda, a Jesuit priest and former rector of Gregorian University, and Brian Farrell, Secretary of the Pontifical Council for Christian Unity and Legionary of Christ. One of the main tasks of Velasco de Paulis, who currently governs the Legionaries of Christ on behalf of the Pope, will be to draft and adopt the new constitutions for the order.
And a prominent Baptist pastor in Atlanta is now facing some serious charges. He's accused of having sexual relations with young men. We get the latest from CNN's Sandra Endo.
Embattled Atlanta pastor Eddie Long is speaking out. In front of his congregation Sunday, he vowed to fight the allegations against him. Long's accused of luring at least 4 young males into sexual relationships.
I've been accused. I'm under attack. I want you to know, as I said earlier, I am not a perfect man, but this thing I'm going to fight.
The complaint surfaced last week. 4 members of Long's New Birth Missionary Baptist Church say when they were teens, the pastor had sexual relations with them during trips and would even use church funds to buy them gifts. Long didn't specifically address the charges, but he made this statement to the media.
I will say that I am going to fight very vigorously against these charges.
For the most part, parishioners are standing by his side.
The fact that he's innocent and that he didn't do anything, I believe him. And that's all that matters.
I've been going here 11 years, and before this, you couldn't have paid me to go to a church. And since I've been in this ministry, it's a wonderful ministry, and no, I don't think he did it.
He never said he didn't do it. He never said he was guilty. He never said he was innocent, and it was pretty brief, and he just walked off from there.
These charges are especially controversial since the 57-year-old pastor has publicly condemned homosexuality and is known to minister to young men.
That is CNN's Sandra Endo reporting. Well, a new study shows the number of unmarried couples in the U.S. living together has risen 13% over the last year to 7.5 million couples. Experts say the rise is probably due to the poor job market. A new Justice Department report reveals that the Thomas Merton Center in Pittsburgh and some Catholic worker communities were wrongly investigated by the FBI. A review of FBI documents from the years 2001 through 2006 showed these groups were investigated based on inaccurate or insufficient information. The groups were among a larger number of anti-war activists and environmentalists and animal rights groups wrongly investigated. From China, the government has announced it is going to keep its one-child policy in place. According to official statistics, an estimated 400 million births have been prevented as a result of the policy. It's also led to an aging workforce, forcing some companies to move operations elsewhere. And finally, it is a father-son movie starring a real-life father and son. We get details from Rome Reports.
Sort of. The American film actor Martin Sheen is returning to his roots. He's making a journey to Spain, the land of his father, who decades ago emigrated from Galicia to the United States. The film is called The Way. In it, Martin Sheen travels to France to collect the body of his son, who died as he began the Camino de Santiago. When he comes to France, he picks up his son's ashes and his backpack to continue the path in his son's place. His son in the film is played by his real son, Emilio Estevez, who also directs the film. It's a fascinating movie about a trip to the north of Spain, which is also a journey into an interior self. The Archbishop of Santiago was so pleased with the script that he even allowed the crew to film inside the basilica. The film has already premiered at the Toronto Film Festival to wide acclaim, perhaps because it gives the viewer plenty to think about and makes you look at life through different eyes.
Or something stronger, if that's your pleasure.
I love this guy.
It wears off quick, I promise.
Well, stay tuned. There's much more current straight ahead. Just ahead, Archbishop Donald Wuerl talks with us about his new role helping Anglicans convert to Catholicism. Welcome back. Well, days after the Pope returned from his trip to the United Kingdom, where he beatified an Anglican who became Catholic, the Vatican made some news affecting Anglicans and Catholics in this country. It announced a commission to help Anglicans who want to convert. It will be led by Washington Archbishop Donald Wuerl. And to find out more about this, earlier today, our Natalia Ortiz spoke with the Archbishop by phone.
Archbishop Wuerl, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you, Natalia.
Archbishop, you have been named the leader of a committee here in the U.S. to help guide incorporation of interested Anglicans into the Catholic Church. Now, what is the goal of the committee?
The purpose of the committee is to be able to determine how many groups, how many congregations, how many Anglican parishes there are who are interested in coming into this ordinariate that the Holy Father has indicated he would be willing to establish in the United States. So our first task is going to be to see how many of these interested groups there are.
Right.
And then we would like to work with them so that we can facilitate the establishment of the ordinariate.
So I guess my next question would be, how are you going to work with them? What is the process? How does this work if somebody is interested in converting, or I should say in being incorporated into the Catholic Church, rather? What would that look like?
Well, we have to keep in mind that the whole purpose of this ordinariate, the whole purpose of Anglicanorum Cetibus as a document and as a process, is to bring groups in. This is for corporate reunion.
Okay.
And so the first thing that would happen is we would hear from some parish, some group, some congregation would write to us or call or let us know that they're interested. And they can do this either directly or through their local Catholic diocese. We would then respond to open up a conversation with them. Ultimately, what we're going to have to do is ask some questions relative to the number of them, what exactly they have in mind. We would have to explain to them what the ordinariate is and what the obligations are for corporate reunion.
So what are some of just a couple bullet points, Archbishop? What are you looking for in terms of allowing them into communion with Rome?
Well, the first point would be their desire as a group to come into the church. Every member of the group would have to make a profession of faith in the creed. They would have to make a profession of faith to be a part of the Catholic Church. But we're not just looking for individuals, because that can be done right now. Anybody can convert and come into the church. This is primarily directed for those who, as groups, have already written petitioning the Holy See in one way or another to have this possibility for a group to come into full communion.
I see. And so the Pope is allowing groups of Anglican to come into full communion with Rome without losing their Anglican identity. What does that mean? What aspects of Anglican heritage or liturgy will they be able to maintain?
Well, one of the things that we have learned in the discussion with the Anglican groups that would like to come in to full communion is their appreciation of the liturgy, their appreciation of music, also their appreciation of how they participate in the organizational activity, the organizational effort of their parish. So there's not a great deal of difference between the way in which things would be done in an Anglican parish and an Anglican, now Catholic parish, and a Catholic parish. But we want to be sensitive that they would feel that there is still a connection to the way in which they are accustomed, first of all, to directing the affairs of the parish. They put a lot of emphasis on parish council. They put a lot of emphasis on that organizational effort.
I see.
But liturgically, I'm not certain, and this is one of the things we're going to hear as we go along, I'm not certain what exactly all those elements of the Anglican tradition to be preserved are. And we'll hear that from the communities as they come forward.
Okay. And so what will this mean for the wider church?
Well, I think this is going to be a wonderful example of the openness of the Catholic Church to receive those who want to be in full communion with the Church. This is, I think, a wonderful response of Pope Benedict to the repeated and persistent requests of groups to be able to come into the Church. I think it just says how open the Catholic Church is, how welcoming, and how the Church is prepared to even go to the extent of a whole ordinariate to welcome people into the Church.
And on that note, thank you so much for joining us, Archbishop Donald Wuerl from Washington, D.C. That is all the time, unfortunately, we have right now.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Natalia Ortiz and Archbishop Donald Wuerl. Well, stay with us. We'll be right back. When we return, a day of service for St. John's students. We'll take a look at what they did.
It's nice. I'm here with, all my best friends, so nothing I'd be rather doing today.
Finally tonight, we meet some young people brushing up on service with a paintbrush. Members of the lacrosse team from St. John's University got together Saturday to donate their time, all in the charitable spirit of St. Vincent de Paul and the Vincentians who staff the school. Our cameras caught up with them at a Catholic Charity Senior Center in Brooklyn.
This University Service Day that St. John sponsors we go out all over the city. I think there's like 70 teams from St. John's working all over the city today, and it's our opportunity to connect back with the university and connect back with the Vincentian mission of the university and get out and try to help those less fortunate and maybe do some good today. I'm hoping they play lacrosse better than they paint, or I'm certainly not going to be the lacrosse coach for very long.
This is the type of thing we believe in on service day, and the whole school actually does it. So something that's a part of what we believe in. It's nice. I'm here with, all my best friends, so nothing I'd be rather doing today than over here, so.
Well, this day really is just for us to come together as a team and really just show the community, that St. John's and that our team really cares about giving back to the community and doing something for somebody, whether it be painting or giving homeless people food.
Giving back to people is always the best thing to do, It's nice doing it as a team. We get to joke around a little bit, camaraderie, and stuff like that, so it's nice.
The St. John's University students are doing a wonderful job. The dining room is almost complete. They're now on the first floor doing the hallway. The seniors are going to be quite shocked because this is a surprise. They didn't know this was happening. So they're going to be overjoyed, and when I tell them that St. John's students came in and did it, I'm sure they'll write letters of glowing reviews. Catholic Charity Senior Center Northside is a senior center located in the heart of Williamsburg, where we serve about 80+ seniors a day. We provide socialized recreation services, educational services, a nutritious meal. As most people are well aware, in Williamsburg they're going through a period of gentrification, which is not always so welcoming to older adults. And you have a senior center that welcomes you to come in and enjoy its services, participate. We're very much involved in the community. We actually focus on healthy aging. We make sure that the centers are an actual reflection visually of what we're promoting internally within our seniors.
For guys to come out here and donate their time and realize that they're doing a really nice thing for the community is an excellent experience for our guys, and it's a great bonding experience for them as well. students at St. John's believe in the Vincentian mission, which is giving back, and we let our student athletes know that in our recruiting, that that's what the university believes, and that's what we expect from them as a student athlete.
We're very appreciative of everything that all of our partners are doing. Home Depot, that has provided us with the supplies for painting. One of our other Catholic charity vendors, KBM Contracting, that's coming in to also help with the painting project today. For us, it continues to promote the idea that people will get involved, that if you do as a college student or if you do as an institution, that they will come out and that they will help, and so that all is not forgotten and that people are very much into volunteering and they're very much into helping our older adults.
Ask and ye shall receive. Well, that is it for tonight. Coming up tomorrow, celebrating the life and legacy of one of the most beloved modern saints, Padre Pio. In the meantime, remember, we are always online at currentsny.net, and you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And if you have a story idea, just feel free to drop us a line. That's it. Drop us a line at currentsny.net. That's our email. Until next time, I'm Francesca Maxime. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.